Okay guys, it is challenge time. Today we are gonna try to rap a verse from Watsky's song, Never Let It Die, one of my favorite songs of all time. This is going to be really bad, so be prepared.
It isn't the
fashion, the cash, and it isn't the trash in hotels, it's the pit of passion you feel in the moment you crashed and you fell, and get up and you're smashing it well like it was a pistachio shell. You gotta be gnashing your teeth and be giving them hell, cause to love is a radical act. Give your brother a pat on the back, and if you get a panic attack, feel like you're at the back of the pack, and opinion's exactly that. If they say that your magic is black, just do what you do when you do what you do, keep on pulling that rabbit from hat. You might think that you're ruined, you might think you're defeated. If you love what you do, you're already succeeded. You're gonna be bleeding when another one bites that dust, so get ready to beat it, because it might be us, and I'm telling them that the journey is oh so slow, and we want to say no, 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 because we make it difficult, but we go, 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 and my father was telling me that I better be ready to ride on through, because I know that's tough, but I gotta be, why not you? I apparently have a lot of work to do. Thank goodness this isn't a rapping channel and it's a song explaining channel. Basically guys, today we're gonna be talking about 7 deep songs from Watsky, or 7 lessons I learned or remembered from Watsky. I haven't decided what to title the video yet, but basically some people commented about Watsky a couple of years ago and I started listening to him and I was amazed. First of all, it sounds exactly like I would imagine music that I would try to make at some point, but also like the lyrics are so deep, they have so much to say, they're so personal, and if you watch his music videos, he's very willing to like use his body and just himself as like a canvas for art, and in the end it's not about making him look cool or like celebrating him, it's about the message, and he just uses himself as part of the message, and it's just really, really cool. I would have to say that out of all of the music artists that I listen to, Watsky is probably one of the top 5 like just pure artists. Like I feel like when he makes music, it's about the art, it's about the message, it's not about himself in any way, and he really tends to, like, he has personality and it's great, but it just feels like it's more about what we're all here to listen to. That being said, let's jump into 7 of the deepest, most awesome songs from Watsky. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, The Pop Song Professor, where we make English class awesome by explaining and sometimes roasting song lyrics on weekdays. Today, we're doing something a little bit unique. We're talking about 7 great lyrics from Watsky. If you look down below, not only is there a playlist of all of these songs that he has uploaded to YouTube that you should definitely go watch, listen to, and think about, but there's also a link to a course, or a couple of courses, where I help people write lyrics that are original, that sound good. I know a lot of people are really like nervous that the lyrics that they write are not that good. They listen to people like Watsky or 21 Pilots or Panic at the Disco and they're like, oh gosh, compared to them, my lyrics suck. Well, my course is all about helping you guys learn how to be confident in your lyrics, be original, be creative, to actually sound good. It's perfect for people who overthink the process too. Plus, it's 3 more hours of my face. Who wouldn't want that? I could actually name a couple of people, but that's not why you're here. Let's go ahead and talk about Watsky and the 7th deepest song by Watsky, because I have these in order. I'm that kind of a person, okay? Don't hate. But if you disagree with me about which ones are the deepest or not, you're welcome to hate, but just comment what you would do instead down below. Just make it nice hate, okay? Can we all agree just to like hate nicely, maybe? You can tell that I only got 4.5 hours of sleep last night. I am so exhausted, my brain is mush right now. All right, so number 7 is Yes, Britannia. And this song it seems to be about a relationship that he had with a girl from Great Britain. The relationship died, but it spawns a lot of questions in him, like, should we just give up and let it all have meant nothing? Or, you know, what does this mean for future relationships and what can I learn from this? So we have this line, these lines right here that I really like. We can't be living with love when it's lost its luster. First of all, art right there, like the constant L's, living with love when it's lost its luster. His lyrics are musical. There's no denying it. He sounds like a human drum in the way that he like chooses words. It's great. Frosted over, busted, exhausted, ruptured. Another couple who settled for less. We want something real, a relationship. Want to feel and quit chasing shit. And so like it's this sharp implication that a lot of people are just looking for BS in relationships and not like an actual true relationship with all of the difficulties and the good parts. Number 6 is a song called Hey Asshole. And even though he's calling this person asshole, this person is basically depressed, and it's kind of an encouragement for that person. Listen to these lines here. I know I'm good and able, but I don't have the strength to get up from the kitchen table. This kind of shot comes once, another opportunity of a lifetime just slipped away, and that's the 5th this month. but when you take a punch, don't you ever forget why you get up and you put one foot in front of the next. And so it's like this very inspiring song just to think to when you're feeling depressed or feeling down. I would recommend memorizing parts of this song and just like rapping it to yourself. Like, it would feel so motivating. Yeah, so lessons that I've learned from Yes Britannia were like the power of like a true relationship, not just, you know, the fakey stuff that people want on the surface level. And from this last one, just reminding yourself why you put that foot in front of the next, and I think it's gonna be different from everybody. Number 5 is Strong as an Oak, and here there's a couple of lines I wanna share with you. Why should I sit in my ass on the couch and be asking why life isn't equal? With lesser possessions, I'm light as a feather and so I can fly like an eagle. And then later, because when I make it, then I dedicate it to the friends I stayed with, who would do me favors, even lend me paper when I couldn't pay for a little takeout, and to the fact that whenever you think that it means I be here, I'm living my dreams, and it's because of the people I leaned on when I came apart at the seams. So this is like definitely the artist's song, like the broke, starving artist song, because it was written about a time when Watsky didn't have enough money to really even pay for food, and he was borrowing from friends, but a lot of friends took him in and let them live with him. And so not only is he attributing some of his success and admitting that like, I didn't do it all on my own, other people helped me to get to where I am today, but he's also saying that, hey, if I don't have a lot of possessions, that is just a different state of life. Now, for some people in certain situations, it will be worse. For him, he chose to look at ways that it was better by saying that, you know, now I can move, I'm more mobile, and I can have a little bit more freedom. But it's just a very positive song about, you know, looking on the bright side and being appreciative for what you have, which is a good reminder for all of us. And then we get to number 4, Stick to Your Guns, which is about school shootings. This song is really deep, and it's actually told from 3 different perspectives. The first verse is from the shooter, second verse is from the media, and third verse is from the politician. Interestingly, the first verse is the most sympathetic, even though that's the person who most people would want to accuse right away. Watsky kind of gives that person the benefit of the doubt and tries to get inside their head. The media and the politicians, on the other hand, he sees as hypocrites, people who say, you know, watch our news, like we have all this exciting news, and they're actually profiting off of the violence, or people who say, yeah, this is terrible, there's nothing we can do, we should just do nothing at all. Now, this channel is not supposed to be political in any way, so I don't want to give people thoughts or tell them what to think. This is definitely, you know, whether you'll agree with Watsky on some of this stuff is completely up to you, but I think he makes a good point that there's a lot of hypocrisy going around in regards to school shootings. The lines I want to highlight here come from the chorus. You got your finger on the trigger, kid, you got your finger on the trigger, kid, line it up, line it up, line it up, and hit me with the truth. And in a way, that chorus is almost sung to Watsky as he reveals the truth of everything, or to the school shooter as he explains why he does what he does. And it just reminded me to stay humble and to really look for the best of other people rather than trying to profit off of a bad situation, which I kind of feel bad about roasting song lyrics for some of these music videos because I feel like I'm profiting off of a bad situation. Just kidding, I'm not trying to encourage it and being a hypocrite, like, I'm being very honest in how I feel. Number 3 is Ink Don't Bleed. This is a really good song, and I actually want to read a lot of lines from this one, so bear with me. It's harder because I got bars that are big up in Woody Allen, but maybe he's a predator who's digging in his talents. There's a balance, and often I don't know how to feel. In a fake and tainted world, seek the real. That comes from a stanza that's a lot about, you know, people in Hollywood or people in the music industry who will say one thing, but they'll do the other. And so he's kind of like asking himself, maybe Woody Allen's a fake too, this guy I really respect, and you know, I have to live in this world. Then you get into the next stanza, youth is easily influenced, so should you be rooting for me if I touch 1,000 lives, but on the way I ruin some? The rule of thumb is all publicity is your advantage, but human lives are not collateral damage. Bandage the wounded, then finish blank as the newest of canvases. When they zoom in the cameras, give them the truth. So this comes from a stanza that's about a time that he jumped into a crowd and actually broke a fan's arm. And he's asking himself and us whether it's worth it to hurt one people if a lot of other people feel like they were touched in some way. And then finally, this is really good stuff. If perception is reality, then this could be a shocker. I've done my share of effed up things that didn't get on Gawker. Lots of tiny indiscretions way beyond the public eye that if you saw would probably out me as a complicated guy. Mike says you gotta separate the person from the art, but if the art's about that person, you can't pull them apart. So you better watch the choices that you're making now because they are something that matter. They're the only thing that does. And for the most part, I'd like to let that stand for itself, but he's basically saying, you know, you think bad of all of these people who get exposed, but like I've done bad things that I haven't told you about. And then 2, remember that your actions define you, which is probably my biggest takeaway from this song. And then we get into the second deepest Watsky song, and that is Talking to Myself. This one is exactly what the title says. He's talking to himself and reminding himself of a few key things. But he's mostly talking about growing up and having to take the good and the bad in life. So I'll give you a sampling of some of the lines. One day you opened up your eyes inside of you, inside a world, inside a universe you didn't get to choose. And though it was a race you didn't understand, you simply lined up on the blocks, and when the pistol popped, you ran, and when you tripped and dropped, you picked yourself up off the ground. And that's growing up. And then we hear this really, really poetic, interesting portion. As you got older, there were days of cold surrender, days of shrugged whatevers, folded in with days of shocking splendor, the good and the bad. But as time advanced, the lovely days were covered up from view by an advancing melancholy haze that hovered near the dew. Yet there were moments. There were these pure arresting moments, arresting meaning like it stopped you in your tracks, where when you stepped outside your head, outside your pain, outside control, outside the bullshit, out of body, out of rage, outside the need to get it. Get it? You will never get it. That's okay. I totally know what he's talking about here, because there are songs, or there's a view, or there's a moment of meditation where it feels like everything becomes clear, where I catch this vision of something beautiful, something that's bigger than me. And I'll tell you, I'm my least happiest when I'm thinking about what other people think about me, whether I'm successful, when I ask myself, am I happy? 10 times out of 10, I'm not happy when I'm asking that. The times that I'm the most happy are when I'm not thinking about myself at all. I'm thinking about others, I'm thinking about a project, I'm thinking about a hobby, I'm thinking about how gosh darn beautiful that song or that sunrise is. That's when I'm the happiest. And that's what he's talking about here, is those moments that take you away from all of those things and get rid of that half curse of self-awareness and just let you be present in the moment. Obviously, I felt a huge emotional connection with this song. Finally, Watsky's deepest song is Tiny Glowing Screens Part 2. You probably saw this one coming because it's one of his most popular, and it's also one of his most meaningful. Let me give you a sampling of some of these lines. The reason there's smog in Los Angeles is because if we could see the stars, if we could see the context of the universe in which we exist, and we could see how small each one of us is against the vastness of what we don't know, no one would ever audition for a McDonald's commercial again. Again there, he's talking about having this vision of something bigger than yourself and outside of yourself. If you could experience true beauty and joy every day for the rest of your life, would it matter to you whether you had an iPhone or whether you had a MacBook computer, or whether, you know, would anything matter if you could just experience beauty all the time? And he talks a little bit about how we shouldn't, you know, think too highly of him because he's able to, you know, paint himself in a certain way so that we see him from a certain light, which goes back to him kind of not wanting to be a hypocrite like he talked about in Stick to Your Guns. And he admits that when he thinks of like the girl that he'd eventually want to marry, she's probably not very realistic. He says he wants to trace her from a catalog, but I think the most powerful lines are very near the end here. He says, "My mother is an 8-year-old girl, my grandson is a 74-year-old retiree whose kidneys just failed, and that's the glue between me and you. That's the screws and nails. We live in a house made of each other, and if that sounds strange, that's because it is." This song is about the bigger context of who we are as humans together, and how, you know, the only real thing for Watsky is relationships and connection to other people, being able to get outside of himself and have that sort of fellowship with other people. And that title, Tiny Glowing Screens, means that probably he thinks that tiny glowing screens take us away from those relationships. So maybe you should stop watching my YouTube videos and go connect with some real people. I'm just kidding. Like, comment, share, subscribe, guys. No, seriously though, I won't be mad if you don't ever watch my videos again if you're a happier person. I'm freaking serious. Only watch my videos if you feel like they make you a happier person, and you know that 100%. And if you're not sure, ask yourself. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and thank you, Watsky, for writing these songs. I really appreciate it. If anybody knows Watsky, or, you know, can talk to him or suggest that, hey, you should come on and collaborate with me, I'd love to have you on a video and to talk more about your lyric writing process. It's absolutely fascinating, and I respect you so much for what you do. Thank you, everybody, and I'll talk to you next time.